Hello everyone, very good afternoon and welcome back once again to your favorite channel, that is StudyIQ ICE English, and I'm your educator Praveen Mishra, going ahead with the second marathon of our subject, that is Indian polity, right? So let's begin with the first chapter that we are going to discuss. It is a chapter which often troubles a lot to the aspirants as considering its length and technicalities. So let's not go ahead with the stress, okay? Let's say bye bye to stress, okay? And start the chapter, and I assure you this is going to be one of those easiest chapters once again, as the previous chapters they have already been, right? So don't worry guys, yes, the chapter could be technical, could be, but yes, it's going to be quite easy for us as well, right? So starting with the first one, that is the Parliament of India, right? So what is the faction, okay, here, that is Parliament of India. What are the features of the Indian Parliament? What are the things, what are the parliamentary motions, okay, the sessions or the devices of the parliamentary proceedings? What are these things? We need to discuss it, but before that, okay, we enter into the subject, we need to understand about the definition or the meaning of the word, okay, parliament. So, parliament, firstly, that means the legislative wing, okay, parliament, that is the legislative wing, where the laws of the country they are enacted, okay? And yes, parliament is made up of three things, that is Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha plus President of India, okay? So these are the three things that parliament is made up of, okay? Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha plus the President of India. Okay, Lok Sabha as in the lower house, okay, what we call it as the lower house. Rajya Sabha, that is the upper house or the Council of States, upper house, also the Council of States. And yes, the president is already there, right? So these are the three things that combine together and they make up our parliament, okay? And now let's discuss the other features here. So how many leaders or what are the types of leaders we do have inside our parliament, okay? So firstly, see, these are the terms that we need to, okay, remember. Firstly, when we talk about the leader of the house, often people mistake it to be the speaker. See, speaker is not the leader of the house, okay? Leader of the house under the rules of the Lok Sabha, the leader of the house means the prime minister, okay? Under the definition of rules of Lok Sabha, okay? Here we are dealing with rules of Lok Sabha only, not Rajya Sabha, okay? Leader of the house means what? Leader of the house means just and just the Prime Minister of India. If Prime Minister considers that I am quite busy or occupied in some other tasks as well, and it might be not, you know, comfortable for me or easy for me to also perform the role of the leader of the Lok Sabha or the leader of the house, then in that case, what can happen? Any other minister, okay, who is the member of Lok Sabha and is nominated by the Prime Minister to function as the leader of the house can be chosen, right? So let's say, for example, our Prime Minister Modi ji, he believes that भाई मेरे को तो इंटरनेशनल जो है टूर्स भी होते हैं, मेरे कन्वेंशंस भी होते हैं, राइट, और फिर एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा, बहुत सारी जो है मेरी फर्दर मीटिंग्स होती हैं, राइट, डिफेंस मशीनरीज के साथ, इंटेलिजेंस एजेंसीज के साथ, एंड आई हैव गॉट द अदर टास्क्स एज वेल, राइट? सो मैं अभी ऐसे में कैसे हर चीज हैंडल करूं? मे बी द प्राइम मिनिस्टर कुड बी ऑफ द ओपिनियन, राइट, that I have to go ahead in the international forums, meetings, tours, defense, etc., and I might not be, you know, going ahead with the good discharge of function as the leader of the house. So in that case, Prime Minister under the rules of the Lok Sabha has got the absolute authority. What is that authority? To nominate any other minister, the one who is holding the minister rank in the Lok Sabha, okay, to work as the leader of the house. Okay, so generally it is the Prime Minister, and it could be another person as well who is nominated by the Prime Minister is the minister as well as the member of the Lok Sabha, right? So this is what the leader of the house term is. Okay, so yes, dear Sandesh, good afternoon. Chinmay, dear, hello. Okay, and good afternoon all of you, right? So I think I'm clear. Okay, so this is what the term leader of the house means. Okay, there is also a leader of the house in Rajya Sabha who is a minister and a member of the Rajya Sabha and is once again nominated by the PM to act as such. Remember, leader of the house of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, they both are different. In Lok Sabha, it is Prime Minister or any other minister as nominated by the Prime Minister. But in Rajya Sabha, there is also leader of the house who is not the Prime Minister, but is a minister from the Rajya Sabha and is nominated by the Prime Minister itself, right? Next, Prime Minister exercises, the leader of the house basically exercises direct influence on the conduct of the business, and the office of the leader of the house is not mentioned in the constitution but in the rules of the house. Remember one thing, this particular segment of the leader of the house is nowhere mentioned in the constitution. What is mentioned? Mentioned is just the Prime Minister and so on, and its roles, functions and so on, but nothing has been mentioned as in the leader of the house. Okay, so what we need to mark, okay, so when we talk about the leader of the house, okay, we're just talking about the leader of the house. So it is speaker, right? Wrong. It is not the speaker. Okay, who it is? It is the Prime Minister. Okay, house what? Prime Minister, that is we are dealing with the Lok Sabha. Okay, in case Prime Minister doesn't want to perform the role of the leader of the house, then it could be, okay, any other minister, from Lok Sabha only, nominated by Prime Minister. Okay, is this particular thing mentioned in the constitution? Nowhere. Okay, so leader of the house is present where? Leader of the house is present only and only in the Lok Sabha? No, it is Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. But in both the houses, the leaders are different. In Lok Sabha, it could be the Prime Minister or any other minister nominated by the Prime Minister. In case of Rajya Sabha, it could be any minister who is member of the Rajya Sabha and is nominated by the Prime Minister only to function as the leader of the house in the Rajya Sabha. Okay, so this is the first leader, okay, the first person in the parliament. Next, leader of the opposition. Okay, so here we have got the next person, leader of the opposition. Now what is that? The leader of the largest opposition party. Means like, how am I going to define the largest opposition party? Do I have any figure? Do I have any number for this? Yes. So leader of the largest opposition party, that is having not less than how much? 1/10 seats of the total strength of the house is recognized as the leader of the opposition in a house. See, make it clear. Let's say for example, not for example, exactly we have got the 545 seats as of now presently in the Lok Sabha, right? So out of this 545 seats, 1/10, that is 54.5. But how am I going to justify this figure 54.5? So I'll have to go ahead in the round figure. So can I go with the number 54? No, as in because it is less than 1/10. Okay, it should be at least 1/10. So with regard to round figure, I will have to convert it to 55. Okay, with regard to the, or in context of the present number of seats maximum. Okay, so any particular party which is having at least 1/10, okay, at least 1/10 of the seats in the Lok Sabha, okay, its leader could be considered as what? Its leader could be considered as the leader of the opposition in the house. Okay. Now, he or she provides constructive criticism to the government policies and to provide alternative government. Next, the leader of the opposition in both the houses were accorded statutory recognition in the year 1977 only, and they are entitled to the salary, allowances and other facilities equivalent to that of the cabinet minister, right? And last one, the office of the leader of the opposition is not mentioned in the constitution but in the parliamentary statute. Okay, so the features that we need to mark out with regard to the leader of the opposition. Okay, so guys, please, I request you to make these flow charts, as they will help you a lot in quick revision. Okay, so leader of the opposition. First thing, who can be the leader of the opposition? A party who is having at least 1/10 of seats. Okay, at least 1/10 of seats. Then, apart from that, holds which rank? Cabinet minister rank. When was this recognition given? Recognition was given in the year 1977. Okay, mentioned in the constitution? No, not mentioned in the constitution. Okay, so these are the features for what? Features for the Lok Sabha or the leader of the opposition in the house. Okay, same goes with the Rajya Sabha as well. Okay, next, whip, WHIP. So how do I define this word whip? To begin with, you can consider it as the class monitor. Like for example, in a class, if there is a class teacher, so class teacher को आप relate कर सकते हैं with the leader of the house. Okay, you can relate the term class teacher with the leader of the house. But we have got another person as well in a class. That is what is known as the class leader or the class monitor. Right. What is the role of the class monitor? To ensure that every student has come to the class, no one is moving outside the class. Means like those who have come to the school, they are inside the classroom. Okay. In the absence of teacher, the discipline is maintained. Okay, no one is, making any kind of nuisance or any noises or disturbances, right? Then collecting all the particular like files or projects and then submitting it to the teacher, right? That is type of a disciplinary body this particular person, that is class monitor, performs, right? So in that very same sense, what we have got? We have got the whip. Okay, so every political party, it's not just the ruling party or the opposition party. How so many parties are present in the houses? Okay, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, whatsoever. They do have their own particular whip. Okay, so whether it is ruling, opposition or whatsoever, right? So he or she is appointed by the political party to serve as an assistant floor leader. Okay, to serve as in what? Assistant floor leader, as in if teacher is there, to serve teacher, what we have got? We have got the another one, that is class monitor. So in that very same way, leader of the house. Who is the leader of the house? It is the Prime Minister. So to serve Prime Minister, who we have got? We have got the whip. That is what we term it as the assistant floor leader. Charged with what? Charged with the responsibility of ensuring the attendance of the party members. Okay, so this is what the leader, the assistant floor leader, basically the whip, performs in the house. Next, he regulates and monitors their behavior in the parliament, and the members are supposed to follow the directives given by the whip. Now the fact here, a very interesting fact. Office of whip is neither mentioned in the constitution, neither mentioned in the rule books, nowhere. Okay, so simply as you can see here, the office of whip is neither mentioned in the constitution, neither in the statutes or rule books of the parliament. Okay, it is a conventional thing and has no existence related to any statute, law, enactment, constitutional provisions, nothing. Okay, just like for example class monitor, we have got the prospectus of the school, right, or the school diary. What are the things mentioned in the school diary or in the prospectus? We have got the mentioning of the school principal, right, or the dean, maybe the trustees even, or the class teachers or the teachers, the faculty members, etc., right? But does any prospectus or any particular school diary mentions about the position of class leader or class monitor? Nowhere. Is it? No, it is nowhere mentioned, right? Neither in the prospectus or the school diary, nowhere. Right now, neither into the proformas or websites, nowhere. Okay. So it is what? Class monitor is what? It is the conventional position. In the very same sense, the office of whip. What it is? A conventional position and has nothing to be deal or has no mentioning, okay, neither in the rule books, neither in the constitution, nowhere. Okay. Simply a conventional position. So this is what? The whip. Right? Right. Okay. So next one we have got the sessions of parliament. Okay. How many sessions in a year we have got? So first and foremost that we need to mark, that is, India does not have a fixed parliamentary calendar. That means neither the constitution, neither any book says that there shall be this much or that much sessions, this session, that session in one single year or a one particular time, something like that. So we do not have any fixed parliamentary calendar. First thing. Second thing, by convention, it is not a rule, it is what? A convention. So by convention, parliament meets for 3 sessions in one single year. Okay, these are firstly the budget session, the monsoon session and the winter session. Okay, so make it clear everyone. There is no fixed parliamentary calendar that has been mentioned. Okay, by convention, the Parliament of India has got 3 sessions. Budget session, which is also the longest session, that starts from February, okay, or actually January and continues till the end of April, right, as it is right now being going on. Then second one is the monsoon session that starts nearly during the July and finishes by August. And the last one is the winter session, okay, one of the smallest generally it has been so far. So starts from November and ends by December. Okay, so these are the 3 sessions of parliament. Okay, remember, it is not through the any statute or rule, it is just through the convention. But yes, constitution has mentioned something, that it is important for the parliament to meet at least once in 6 months, as in the maximum gap between one to another session should be not exceeding more than 6 months, right? So this is what the constitution has just mentioned. It has not mentioned the number of sessions or the types of sessions or this season of the session, like monsoon, winter, spring, summer, etc., nothing like that. It is just what we have named it. Okay, constitution has simply mentioned what? Constitution has simply mentioned that the gap between 2 sessions should not be more than how? More than how much? That is 6 months. Okay, what I need to remember, that is, yes, the parliament can meet once in 6 months, or shall say parliament must meet once in 6 months at least. This is what the constitution has mentioned. Okay, now we have got how many sessions? 3. Budget, summer, that is monsoon actually, and the last one being the winter. So is it mentioned in the constitution? Once again, no. Okay, what is constitution saying? Constitution is saying that your gap between one session to another should not exceed how many? 6 months. That's it. Okay, now who is entitled to summon the parliamentary session? Who will be the authorized or the dignitary person who will be going ahead and summoning the house or the parliamentary proceedings? Okay, so it will be just and just the Honorable President of India. Okay, so it is under Article 85. The President summons each house of the parliament from time to time. Okay, simple as that. Okay guys, clear? Yes, hello Akansha, hello Venkat, good afternoon. BMW, हाँ ले रहा मैं BMW अभी जल्दी, okay, very soon, and then we shall go on a good, drive. Yes, okay, dear Venkat, is that the very same BMW you are mentioning, or is it something else? I think it is budget, monsoon and winter. Fine, nice, good technique. Right, okay. So summoning, it is the authority of whom? It is the authority of the president under Article 85 of the Indian Constitution. Right, okay. So make it clear here. That is what? Parliamentary sessions. Okay, sessions of parliament. Firstly, what it has been stated, no fixed calendar. Okay, no fixed calendar. First thing. Second thing, by convention. Okay, by convention. Yes, we have got the BMW. Okay, that is the budget, the monsoon and the winter. Okay, then apart from that, who is entitled to summon? So under Article 85, the President of India shall summon. Okay, what we have to keep this thing in mind? What we have to keep this keep the thing in mind, that is, though no fixed calendar is there, but what Constitution says that the maximum gap, okay, it should not be more than 6 months between the two sessions. Okay, that's it. So this is what the parliamentary session is all about. Make this thing very clear. No fixed calendar, right? We have got the convention but nothing, okay, fixed. Next, after summoning, adjournment. बुला लिया, काम हो गया, अभी जाओ, क्या कर रहे इधर, अभी टाटा बाय बाय हो गया, अभी डन, अभी समन किया था ना, अभी ऐसा बाय, नेक्स्ट टाइम. Okay, so now we have got adjournment. So adjournment as in suspends the work in a sitting for a specified time, which may be hours, days or weeks. Simply speaking, when the meeting is terminated without any definite time, date or something like that, it is termed as adjournment sine die. And this power of adjournment lies in the hands of the presiding officer. That is, in case of Lok Sabha, it is a speaker. In the case of Rajya Sabha, it is the chairperson. Now see, you might have, heard judges saying these things in the court, in the, at least in the movies or the web series what we watch these days, right? So you have seen, right, when the proceedings of the courtroom is done, and judges also said that yeah, now we can call the day. So what judge do? So when judge is calling off the day, he or she iterates one line, that is, court is adjourned. So adjourned as in what? Adjourned as in takliya, bye, okay, we'll meet tomorrow, day after tomorrow, etc., etc. Okay, so that is what is adjournment. So adjournment authority, who can adjourn the house? Adjournment of the house lies into the hands of the presiding officer of the parliament. As in case of Lok Sabha, who is the presiding officer? Speaker. In case of Rajya Sabha, who is presiding officer? Chairperson. Okay, this adjournment is saying that today's particular agenda has been completed and we can now go ahead and take rest and shall meet tomorrow, day after tomorrow, 2 days later, a week later or a month later. This is what adjournment is. Okay, the another one is adjournment sine die. When the speaker has said, okay, today's agenda is done and we shall meet later, and someone will come and ask speaker, later as in 1 hour later, 1 day later, week later, month later. So speaker says, don't worry, अभी तुम जाओ, मैं WhatsApp कर देता हूं तुमको, ठीक है, you go right now. When we have to meet next, I will text you. I'll text you on the WhatsApp or mail or something like that. Okay, means like I'm adjourning the session, but when to meet next time, I'm not telling that. So that is what is known as adjournment sine die. That is ending the session without giving the date of the next meeting. That is what is adjournment sine die. Okay, and who is having this authority? Authority lands into the hands of the president? No, presiding officer of the house. So in case of Lok Sabha, it's speaker. In case of Rajya Sabha, it's the chairperson. So this is what the adjournment means. Guys, listen, don't get confused. Okay, next thing what we are going to discuss is the prorogue. Okay, but before entering into the next topic, that is prorogue, let's just understand the elements of adjournment. Okay, adjournment, here we go. And I request you guys to please make such type of diagrams, flowcharts, mind maps, whatever you guys call. Okay, that's the need of the hour. If you want to recall every particular element, okay, in a very clear, in a very, very crystal clear manner, then you need to do this thing. Okay, if you are doing this, it's perfect. If not, then please start doing this. Okay, so adjournment. Adjournment, what does this basically means? Ending the day's meeting. Okay, who can adjourn? Who is having the authority to adjourn? It is the speaker in case of Lok Sabha, or it is the chairperson in case of Rajya Sabha. Okay, when the meeting has ended with the specified time of next meeting, that is known as adjournment. Okay, so let's say, for example, okay, you can just keep it like this. For example, the speaker has said that next meeting shall be there next week Sunday. Okay, so the time has been fixed. Okay, next meeting Sunday, next Sunday. Okay, so this time has been fixed, so it is known as adjournment. Now there is another feature. What do we call it as? The adjournment sine die. Okay, we call it as adjournment sine die. What is this? Ending the session or ending the day's task without informing the next day, without informing the time for next meeting. So this is what is known as adjournment sine die. Okay, when the date has been fixed, it will just be termed as adjournment. When the next meeting date is not fixed, it will be termed as adjournment sine die. Okay, next, the prorogation. Prorogation as in ending that particular session. Let's say winter session is there, or presently the budget session is there. So budget session has been summoned. Summoned by whom? President. Now session is done, not the day's task. The whole session has been completed. So now it will be termed as what? Prorogation. Okay, what we will call it as prorogation. Okay, what is this prorogation? As in, unlike adjournment, prorogation terminates a sitting as well as the sessions of the house. Right? Sessions of the house. It is done by the President of India. Okay, and prorogation is different from the dissolution. Dissolution as in Lok Sabha has been dissolved. Now fresh elections will be there. Okay, new Lok Sabha will be constituted. This is what? Prorogation. That is, jao, budget session khatam, monsoon mein milenge. Ya monsoon khatam, abhi winter mein milenge. Okay, let's go. Let's move now. Budget session is done. We'll meet in the monsoon session. Monsoon session is done. We'll meet in the winter session, or winter session is done. We'll meet in the budget session, something like that. Okay, so that is what is known as prorogation. Now the difference, understand the difference between adjournment. The first one is summon, next one is adjournment, and the third one is prorogation. See, when it comes to summon, who will summon? It is president. Okay. Who will prorogue? It is again president. But who will do adjournment or the adjournment sine die? It will be only the presiding officer. Only and only whom? The presiding officer. And who is the presiding officer? In case of Lok Sabha and in case of Rajya Sabha. In case of Lok Sabha, it is the speaker, right? And in case of Rajya Sabha, it is the chairperson. So summon and prorogue under Article 85, it is the duty of the president. But adjournment, sine die, etc., it is what? It is into the hands of the presiding officer, that is Speaker, Lok Sabha, Chairperson, Rajya Sabha. Right? That's it. Next, quorum. What is this quorum? How do I define this word? Quorum. Quorum as in minimum number of members required to host the session, to just have the session. Okay, that is what the meaning of the word quorum is. And what is the word quorum here? That is minimum number. And how much minimum number? That is 1/10 of the total strength. So here we go. Quorum refers to the minimum number of the members required to be present for the conducting a meeting of the House. The Constitution has fixed 1/10 strength as quorum for both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha independently, not the combined strength, independently. Okay. So what is this? Minimum number. Okay, what's that? Minimum number of members required for concluding or conducting a meeting or the session of the House, basically. And what is that? Yes, 1/10. Okay, 1/10 strength. It is what? As quorum for Lok Sabha and separately for Rajya Sabha. So this is what the number of members they are required. Yeah, mission, government job. Nice. Okay. Noted, guys, all of you. Are you able to understand till here? Just I would like to hear from you guys. All of you, those who are here. Is it difficult? Are you finding it difficult? Yeah, Aman, good evening, good afternoon, basically right now, brother. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, okay. So next, joint session of the Parliament. When there is a deadlock, okay, when there is a deadlock between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha regarding a particular bill, okay, and in order to eliminate or wipe away that deadlock, President is having the authority under Article 108 of the Constitution to call for the joint sitting of the both the House of the Parliament. That under Article 108 shall be presided by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. In case of Speaker is not there, then Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha. In case both of them are not there, then any other member as given by the President of India. Okay. So remember, the Constitution under Article 108 provides for the joint sitting of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha in order to break any deadlock between the two regarding a bill. The joint sitting is called by the President and is presided over by the Lok Sabha Speaker. Remember, though it is both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, that is why it is termed as joint sitting. but it is going to be presided only and only by the presiding officer of the Lok Sabha, that is the speaker or the deputy speaker, and in the absence of the speaker, or let's say they both are absent, then it should be any other member as decided by the president. But in the absence of both, that is the speaker as well as deputy speaker, right? Okay. So in the speaker's absence, deputy speaker of the Lok Sabha, and in the absence of both, presided over by the deputy chairperson of the Rajya Sabha. Okay, this is what the president has to decide. Okay. Next, lame duck session, one of the most interesting one. Okay, what is this? Lame duck session. It is type of a trolling. होता ना वो ऐसा रोस्ट करना, किसी को मजा लेना, ठीक, roasting someone, right? We all do this, ना? This is what lame duck session is, roasting. Yeah. Let's say there is a classmate of yours who has failed in the final exam, right? Unfortunately. And now you call that failed classmate that come in bro, ये क्लासरूम नई क्लासरूम है, इसको देख ले, अभी तो तेरे को ना मिलने की है, right? You will have to go ahead and give the exam again, wait for the next examination, and then only you will be able to come in case you pass, or else if you fail again, then no one knows, right? So in that very same way, lame duck session happens. What is this lame duck session? It is conducted for those parliamentarians, those who were the members of parliament, but in the next elections they have lost their seat. Okay, so technically these are the people, those who are called, come see the parliament building again, you can have those seats again, sit for the one last time, okay, and who knows whether you will be returning back to the parliament or not. Even if you are returning, then at least it will take 5 years for you to return, right? So this is what the concept of the lame duck session. Okay, so those members of the existing Lok Sabha who could not get re-elected to the new Lok Sabha, they are called lame duck, and it is conducted for them. Okay, so it refers to the last session of the existing Lok Sabha after the new Lok Sabha has been elected. So basically, to call those who couldn't make into the fresh Lok Sabha, okay, or the ongoing elections, those who have lost, right? Okay, so kind of a trolling, not exactly, but yeah, kind of a trolling. So this is what lame duck session. Now we're moving forward to the next one, that is devices of the parliamentary proceedings. Okay, how the parliamentary proceedings they do take place. Okay, so here we go. What are the devices? So the first thing here we have the question hour. The very first meeting, the very first hour of every Lok Sabha proceedings, every day. Okay, the very first hour of every Lok Sabha proceedings of every day, it is termed as what? The question hour. Okay, and what is this question hour all about? Okay, so here we go. The first hour of every parliamentary sitting, it is termed as question hour. It is mentioned in the rules of procedure of the House. Okay, it is mentioned. Next, during this time, the members ask questions and ministers, they usually give answers. And the questions, they are of three types. Okay, starred, unstarred, and short notice. So here we go. Starred question. Starred question as in, obviously they are having this asterisk mark with them. Okay, starred question. That is, these are distinguished by an asterisk mark and require oral answers only. Hence, supplementary questions can follow. Second one, unstarred question, that is having no asterisk mark. It requires a written answer and hence supplementary questions cannot follow. Third one is short notice question. What is the short notice question? The matters of public importance and of urgent character are considered under this type of questions, and they are asked by giving a notice of not less than 10 days and they are answered once again orally. Now, the point of confusion that might exist in our mind, that starred question as in important questions, and important questions that must be answered in written. right? Unstarred questions as in not that important. So that should be answered orally, right? But here things are different. Starred question, okay, they are answered orally, okay, but unstarred questions, they have to be given in written form. The answers, they have to be in written form. So this is what the twist is, okay. Now let's say, for example, if we are having a one-on-one verbal or the oral discussion, okay. So if I ask you, yes dear, what's your name? So you have to answer orally, right? So just verbally. So you can answer, sir, my name is XYZ. Then since because we are having the oral verbal discussion, so I can ask supplementary question, na? Okay, your name is this, your full name please, or where are you from? Okay, like this. So this is what the supplementary question concept is, because the discussion is going on in an oral note, right? So I can go ahead and ask the supplementary questions. But let's say we are having the written format of the answers. So obviously there shall be no scope left for the supplementary questions, right? So this is what the scope of, or the meaning of, the starred and unstarred question. Now you can understand it like this. Just to make yourself recall this. Star, as in consider it with a celebrity. If you go and meet a celebrity, right, and you ask any question to that celebrity who is a star, could be anyone, okay, politician, cricketer, or an actor or an actress from Bollywood or whatsoever, right? Okay. So if you go ahead and meet a celebrity and ask a question, so how is that celebrity going to answer? That celebrity is going to answer orally only, right? It's not going to be, oh, wait, I'll write and answer you. No, obviously not, right? So star, that means oral answers, and yes, because answers are being done orally, so supplementary questions, they can be followed. Next is unstarred question, that is, you can ask in general to anyone, not just the star. So to anyone else, if you are asking, so you can ask them, na, give me in writing, right? No, I don't trust you, give me in writing. Okay, so this is what the unstarred question. Now you're asking in writing, so obviously there will be no scope for the supplementary questions. And then comes the short notice. Short notice question is in how much notice? So it is of 10 days. Okay, short notice questions, how many days? They are of urgent public matter. Okay, the importance of urgent public issue. Okay, and the notice is to be given of 10 days, at least, minimum. Okay, right, 10 days of the notice. So this is what the short notice, and short notice questions, they are to be answered orally as well. So only one type of question that is to be answered in written, that is what? The unstarred question, or else the starred and the short notice questions, they are to be answered orally, right? And who is going to ask these questions and who is going to answer this question? Okay, the one who will be asking the question will be the members of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. The answer shall come from the ministers. Okay, questions will be asked just by the members, answers shall be given by the ministers. Okay, so who will be the questioning person? Okay, who will be the questioning authority? Question shall come from the member of parliament. Okay, member of parliament, as in wherever the proceedings is going on, as in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, whatever. Okay, who will be the answering authority? Whosoever is considered as a minister. Minister as in whosoever is holding the ministry or the portfolio. Okay, so this is what the question answer thing is all about. Next, after question hour, we have got the 0 hour. Okay, see, the question hour, it is fixed. Parliament's very first hour will be considered as what? Question hour. Okay, let's say, for example, Parliament started its proceeding at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. whatsoever. For instance, let's take it 10 a.m. So from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., this first hour it will be considered as what? The question hour. Immediately that 1 hour, that is question hour, has ended, the next thing is there, what we call it as the 0 hour, immediately after the question hour. Okay, yes, 0 hour is the innovation of India. It is no other place, in no other parliament of any country it is present. Okay, 0 hour, it is only in the Indian parliament. Okay, yeah, it's our innovation. So a 0 hour is an Indian parliamentary innovation. It is not mentioned in the parliamentary rule books. Remember, question hour is mentioned in the parliamentary rule books. It is clearly mentioned. But 0 hour, it is nowhere mentioned in any rule book. Okay, here we go. Under this, the members of parliament can raise matters without any prior notice. Starred, unstarred, short notice. The notice is given. But in 0 hour, no notice is given. And the most striking feature here, the 0 hour starts immediately after the question hour, but it can last until the whole day has ended. Okay, so let's say question hour is just for 1 hour, but 0 hour could be for 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, or it can, just take out the whole day even. Okay, so this is what 0 hour is all about, and no notice, okay, is given to the ministers. Any questions could be asked by the members through the 0 hour inside the parliament, and ministers, they are bound to answer. Okay, next, in other words, the time gap between the question hour, okay, and the agenda is known as the 0 hour. Okay, basically the time gap between the question hour and the end of the day, it is known as the 0 hour. That's it. Next, half an hour discussion. So with the name it is clear. Half an hour discussion as in a 30 minutes discussion on any particular matter, right? So here we go. It is meant for discussing a matter of sufficient public importance which has been subjected to a lot of debate and answer to which needs elucidation on a matter of fact. Okay, the speaker can allot 3 days in a week for such discussions, and there is no formal motion or voting before the house. What is the concept? Let's say there is a particular point on which end number of discussion has been done. Okay, there is a particular provision, a bill, or any particular agenda on which ample amount of discussion has already taken place. But still, there are parliamentarians, those who think that no, still I haven't got, or we haven't got a clear answer, and we need more elucidation. We need more elaboration of the answer. So for that case, a half an hour discussion, that is 30-minute discussion, can be kept on that one particular point. Who is the deciding authority? It will be the speaker. Okay, who will be the deciding authority? That is basically the presiding officer. How many days a week can this half an hour discussion take place? It can happen only 3 days a week. And who will be the deciding authority? That is, how many 3 days, like what 3 days? Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, what? So it will be the speaker. Okay, so you can understand it here. We talk about the half an hour discussion. Okay, half an hour discussion. So obviously that is 30 minutes. So the features, firstly, 3 days a week. How many days? 3 days a week. First thing. Who will be the deciding authority? Okay, it will be the presiding officer only. That is in case of Lok Sabha, in case of Rajya Sabha, okay, it is speaker once again, and it is chairperson once again. Okay. Now, why it is? When a particular debate on any matter has already happened. But still, some members, they need more clarification or more discussion. Then in that case, this half an hour discussion can happen. How many days a week? 3 days a week. Who will decide those 3 days? It will be the presiding officer only, right? So this is what half an hour discussion is all about. Next, short duration discussion. Apart from half an hour discussion, we have got the short duration discussion. Short duration discussion as in basically it goes around for 2 hours. Okay, so it is known as the 2-hour discussion. Okay, short duration discussion, 30 minutes, 3 days a week, deciding authority, president, the speaker or chairperson in case of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. Then we have got the next short duration discussion. What is this? Also known as 2-hour discussion. 2-hour discussion as in because it is taking place for 2 hours, that is 120 minutes. Okay, deciding authority, once again, the presiding authority, the presiding officer. Next, how many days a week? It is 2 days a week. Okay, so simply speaking, short duration discussion and half an hour discussion. Short duration discussion, that is 2 hours, 2 days a week, deciding authority, speaker. Okay, running inside the parliament since 1953. Okay, so what you need to differentiate here is differentiate between the two. Okay, that is on one side we have got the half an hour discussion and on the other side we have got the short duration discussion. So half an hour, yes, obviously very clear, 30 minutes, but short an hour discussion, it is 120 minutes. And that is why it is also known as 2-hour discussion. How many days a week? Okay, 3 days a week. How many days a week? It can be not more than 2 days a week. Who will decide? Once again, whosoever is the presiding officer. Who is going to decide? Same. Whosoever is the presiding officer. That's the basic difference between the short hour or short duration, also known as 2-hour discussion, and half an hour discussion. That's it. Okay. Next, motions in the parliament. What are the types of motions we do have got? Okay, so here we go. First, the privilege motion. Okay, how many types of motions they are being passed? Okay, what is that? Privilege motion. So first one, it is moved by a member when he or she feels that a minister has committed a breach of privilege of the house or more of its members by withholding facts of a case or by giving wrong or distorted facts. Okay, basically the purpose is to censure the ministers. Okay, it can be moved in Rajya Sabha as well as Lok Sabha. So the differences, they are very, very important. Firstly, which motion we are discussing? We are discussing the privilege motion. Okay. Secondly, what is this all about? Privilege motion, it is moved by a member of the Lok Sabha, okay, or maybe the Rajya Sabha also, against a minister on whom the member is stating that, in my opinion, minister has breached his or her privilege, a privilege that the constitution has provided to the minister being a minister, right? Okay, so in that case, this particular privilege motion can be initiated against a minister or ministers. Okay, Where it can be initiated? It can be initiated again in the Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. Guys, please remember, when we talk about the motions, okay, so there is big difference in the motions. There are few motions that can be initiated only in Lok Sabha. There are motions that can be initiated in Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha, and there is a set of motions as well that can be initiated only in Rajya Sabha. Okay, so remember, this time we are discussing what? Privilege motion. And privilege motion can be initiated where? It can be Rajya Sabha as well as Lok Sabha, that is both. Okay, who will initiate this motion? It will be by any member of the parliament. Okay, against whom? Against the concerned minister, a single minister or maybe couple of ministers, that is group of ministers. Okay, this is what the basic term for the privilege motion is all about. And what we need to understand, it can be initiated in Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha both. Okay, next, censor motion. What is this all about? It is censure. Okay, though we pronounce it as censor only, but it is not that C-E-N-S-O-R wala censor. It is censure, C-E-N-S-U-R-E, though the pronunciation remains censor itself. So censure motion, firstly, it should state that the reasons, it should state the reasons for its adoption in the Lok Sabha. Okay, next, can be moved against an individual minister or even a group of ministers or even the whole entire council of ministers. Next, it is moved to censure the council of ministers for specific policies and actions. And last thing, can be moved only and only where? In Lok Sabha, not outside Lok Sabha, that is Rajya Sabha, nowhere. Okay, so the facts: censor motion. Censor motion against whom? Against a minister or ministers or maybe entire council of ministers. Okay, the reason should be cited in the motion, that is, this is the reason because of which the motion has been initiated, and it can be initiated where? It can be initiated only and only Lok Sabha and not the Rajya Sabha. Okay, that's it. This is what? Censor motion. Next, calling attention motion. Obviously, name itself clear. Call attention or calling attention. For what? Maybe there is a particular matter of public importance or national importance on which minister or ministers, they are not giving more attention. So in order to grab the attention, कि भाई ये भी देख लो क्या कर रहे हो. Okay, please look at these things as well. What are you doing? For that, call attention motion can be introduced. Okay, so call attention motion, basically we have got, it is introduced in the parliament by a member to call the attention of a minister to a matter of urgent public importance and seek an authoritative statement from him or her on that particular matter. Okay, it can be moved where? It can be moved in Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha, that is both. Okay, so what we have seen, privilege motion, where it can be initiated Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. Censor motion, where it can be initiated only and only Lok Sabha. Call attention motion, where it can be initiated Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. Okay, so you can just make this chart as well. Motions only in Lok Sabha and motions in Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. So what we have seen so far, okay, it is, yeah, what we have got, the privilege motion. So privilege motion is present in Lok Sabha as well as it is present in Rajya Sabha. Okay. Second, we have got censor motion. Censor motion is available in Lok Sabha, okay, not in Rajya Sabha. Okay. Then what we have got, the call attention or the calling attention motion. It is present in Rajya Sabha, but it is, present in Lok Sabha, but not in Rajya Sabha. Okay, so just make this chart, this differentiating chart, right? Next, so calling attention motion, Rajya Sabha as well as, my bad. It is initiated in both, okay? Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha, present, okay? Next, adjournment motion. No, this is not that adjournment motion that we discussed in the beginning of this session, that is calling the end of the day's proceedings. This is different. Name is common, okay, name is same, but thing is different. What is the thing here? Adjournment motion, as we can see. It is introduced in the Lok Sabha to draw the attention of the House to definite matter of urgent public importance. It involves an element of censure against the government, and it can be moved only in Lok Sabha. Now, you would be like, sir, censor motion, या adjournment motion or call attention motion में क्या difference है? Okay, what is the basic difference between the call attention motion and the censor motion? Okay, adjournment motion. Okay, so call attention motion, it is specifically for a minister or ministers, whereas adjournment motion, it is for whole house. Which house? Lok Sabha. So first thing that we need to mark, okay, the adjournment motion, it can be initiated only in Lok Sabha, okay, and obviously not in Rajya Sabha, okay. Now the difference between call attention motion and adjournment motion. Call attention motion, it is simply for the ministers, and adjournment motion, it is for the whole of the house. Okay, the basic difference. It is just for the call attention, it is just for the ministers, whereas adjournment motion, it is for the whole of the house and not single minister or group of ministers only, right? That's the basic difference. Remember, adjournment motion and adjournment, the name could be common, the word could be common, that is adjournment, okay, but the other one is the adjournment, simply the adjournment, that is ending the day's proceedings. The other one is adjournment motion, that is what? Calling for the attention of the whole house. Which house? Both Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha? No, only and only Lok Sabha. That's the basic difference. Next, no day yet named motion. Now you would be like, okay, it's like adjournment sine die, right? Yes, something like that. What is adjournment sine die? When the presiding officer adjourns the day's proceedings without informing the exact date and time of the next meeting. That is what is known as adjournment sine die. Now here we have got a motion. What do we have called this motion? That is no day yet named motion. What is no day yet named motion? As in, there is a particular topic to be discussed, right? And for which speaker has said, okay, we will discuss, but has not yet informed the date of discussion, date and time of the discussion, okay? That is what is known as no day yet named notice or the motion. So here we go. Let's understand the basic differences. It is a motion that has been admitted by the speaker, but no date has been fixed for its discussion, okay, and it can be moved in Rajya Sabha as well as Lok Sabha. So here we go. What we have got? No day yet named. Yes, here also no day yet named. That means a particular topic on which discussion has to take place, for which the presiding officer has accepted as well or admitted as well, but when to discuss? Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, next week, next month, okay, in the, which hour, what time, that is what? No day yet named. This is what? The motion is, and it can be initiated in the Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha, that is both. Next, no confidence motion. As per the provisions of Article 75, what is stated there? The collective responsibility of the Council of Ministers to the Lok Sabha, right? As what we simply call the Council of Ministers, they do swim and sink together, right? What they do swim and sink together, right? That means their existence can be there only when they all are there. Even if, one person try to go out, not possible. They all will swim, they all will sink, both at the same time, but together only, right? So this is what is mentioned in Article 75, that is collective responsibility. So what it says, that Council of Ministers shall be collective responsible to the Lok Sabha only, not Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha only. In other words, the Lok Sabha can remove the ministry from office by passing a no confidence motion, and such a motion needs the support of at least 50 members to be admitted, and it can be moved only and only in Lok Sabha. Okay, that is what is known as no confidence motion. Okay, so here firstly, no confidence motion, right? Not in Rajya Sabha. How many members support is needed to initiate the no confidence motion, that is NCM? It is at least 50 members. Okay, how many? They need at least the support of 50 members to be initiated, right? This is what is known as no confidence motion. Next, motion of thanks. What is this? The first session after each general elections, okay, the first session after each general elections and the first session of every fiscal year, it is addressed by the President. And this address of the President is discussed in both the houses of the Parliament, that is Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha, in the name of motion of thanks. Okay, this motion must be passed, as you can see, must be passed in both the houses. Okay, otherwise it amounts to the defeat of the government, that is Lok Sabha could be dissolved. Okay, so when we talk about the powers and functions of the President, okay, so in that, what do we know about the legislative functions? So legislative functions of the President, what it tells us, that the President addresses 2 sessions, okay, mandatorily. That is, the first one is the first session after every general elections. Okay, first session after every general elections. And secondly, first session of every fiscal year, whatsoever session that is, budget, monsoon, winter, whatsoever, doesn't matter. Okay, so this particular sessions, they are termed as what? Motion of thanks. And in case this motion of thanks session is not passed within the house, then it will lead to the defeat or the dissolution of the Lok Sabha. That is basically the government is gone and now the fresh elections must be held. Okay, so it can be initiated where? It can be initiated in the Lok Sabha, okay, as well as Rajya Sabha. So that is what? Motion of thanks. And here also motion of thanks, right? The basic thing, it should be passed or else the government shall be defeated. Next, cut motions. Not that cut, mara pita wala, not violence wala cut. Cut as in talking about the deficit or cut in the demand of money by the government. Okay, so that is what? Cut motions. So here we go. A cut motion is a special power vested in the members of Lok Sabha to oppose a demand being discussed for special allocation by the government in the finance bill as part of the demand for grants. So if any money, okay, has been asked by the government, any money has been asked by the government, and in case the members of Lok Sabha, they are not ready, so then what can happen? They can initiate what? The cut motion, right? What can they initiate? The cut motion. Okay. So if the motion is adopted, it amounts to a no confidence vote. Okay. And if the government fails to jot up the numbers in the lower house, that is Lok Sabha, it is obligated to resign as per the norms of the house. Okay. So what is that? Cut motion. And firstly, cut motion can be initiated where? Only and only in Lok Sabha. So here we go. Cut motion. Only Lok Sabha and not in Rajya Sabha. Okay. The basic difference. So the cut motions, they are of following types. Okay. The cut motion, it is also of some different variations. How many variations? Basically 3. Okay. So as you can see, the first one, policy cut. Second one, economy cut. Third one, token cut. Okay. So what's the difference between the 3 type of the cut motions? Policy, economy and token. So policy cut, it is moved so that the amount of the demand be reduced to ₹1, which represents the grave disapproval of the demand. Okay, let's say for example, government has demanded 100 rupees. Okay, how much they have demanded? 100 rupees. So in with regard to the cut motion or the policy cut motion, they will say no, we will give you just ₹1. That means representing the great level of disapproval. Next one is the economy cut. Economy cut as in, it is moved so that the amount of the demand will be reduced by a specified amount. Let's say for example, government has demanded once again ₹100, for which the members of the Lok Sabha is of the opinion कि नहीं यार, ये 100 रुपए तो तुम ज्यादा मांग रहे हो. This 100 rupee what you are demanding is too much. So you must, negotiate and you must cut down some figures. So how much? Let's say 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 30 rupees, 40 rupees, whatsoever. So to cut down with a specified amount. Next, the token cut motion. It is moved so that the amount of the demand is reduced by ₹100, which expresses a specific grievance. Okay, so in the policy cut, it is to ₹1, and in the token cut, it is from, let's say they have demanded ₹200. Okay, so here the demand shall be reduced to ₹100. Okay, so this is what? Demand to be reduced by ₹1, that is known as policy cut. Demand to be reduced with a specified amount, that is known as economy cut. And demand to be reduced to ₹100, that is known as the token cut. Okay, so when they have to represent a grave disapproval, big level of disapproval, then it is termed as policy cut. That is, they will cut down the demand to ₹1. ₹1 मिलेगा, चाहिए तो बता. ठीक है. Then another one comes the token cut. 100 rupees, 100 रुपया मिलेगा, चाहिए तो बता. Just ₹100. And the other one, it is okay, bit satisfactory in nature, that is the economy cut. Tell me how much you want. Okay, but you are demanding too much high amount. Let's negotiate it. Okay. So here we go. Closure motion. Okay. What is this closure motion? So it is this. It is a motion moved by a member to cut short the debate on a matter. Okay, before the house. That is, बहुत discussion हो गया यार, एक topic पे कितना discuss करोगे? Now stop it. That is what is now known as closure motion. That is, debate, too much of the debate has been done and reduce the time of the debate now. Let's move it to the voting. Okay, so if the motion is approved by the house, debate is stopped forthwith and the matter is put to vote. So this is what? Closure. Let's say for example, two of your friends, they are debating on a matter. Then you step in between. What is this? Itna lamba choda debate, too much long of the debate, guys. Now cut it. Cut the discussion, cut the debate. Now let's decide who is right and who is wrong. Okay. So when you are demanding to cut the time of the discussion or the debate. That is what is known as the closure motion. Okay. Yeah, yes, dear Manisha, good afternoon. Yeah. Okay. Right, all of you? Closure motion. That is just going ahead and demanding the stoppage of the discussion and debate. So, the closure motions, they are of 4 types. Like for example, the cut motions, they are of 3 types. In the very same way, closure motions, they are also of 4 types. Okay. What are these 4 types? The first one is the simple closure, as in ho gaya vote, as in ho gaya discussion. Now let's put it to vote. Simple, right? The other one is the closure by compartments. What is this closure by compartments? So in this, the clauses of a bill or a lengthy resolution, they are grouped into the parts before the commencement of the debate, and the debate covers the part as whole and the entire part is put to vote. Simply what? The grouping is done. Let's say group 1, 2 and 3 of one particular topic. Okay, 3 compartments or the 3 groups have been made. Okay, and we shall be discussing these 3 compartments or these 3 groups. Okay, so this is what is known as closure by compartments. So in this what? Okay, the clauses of a bill or a lengthy resolution, they are grouped into parts. Let's say there is a particular bill which is having 10 chapters. So it shall be divided in 2, 3, 4, 5 whatsoever compartments. Okay, so let's say for example there is a particular bill which is having 10 chapters. How many? For example, 10 chapters. Okay, so I have divided 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, 5. Okay, so 1 compartment, 2 compartment, 3 compartment, 4 compartment and 5 compartments. So I'll discuss the compartments, not each and every provision. Okay, each and every provision is covered but in the compartment. Okay, that is in the group. That is known as closure by compartment. Next one is the kangaroo closure. Yes, it is kangaroo closure only. How does the kangaroo walks? The walk of general humans or other animals and the walk of kangaroos, they are different, right? Generally, let's say, okay, how do we walk? Okay, we walk in a very straight line, right? We keep our step, okay? This is how generally our steps is. But when it comes to kangaroo, okay, how does this kangaroo moves? The kangaroo is here, okay, then he will jump or he or she will jump, then here, then will take another jump, okay, then here. So as you can see, these are the areas that are not touched by kangaroo. Okay, so in that very same way, kangaroo closure. How is this kangaroo closure taking place? Not discussing each and every type, each and every provision of the bill. Okay, not discussing each and every provision of the bill, just discussing their highlighted parts that are considered most important. So that is one is known as kangaroo closure. So you can see under this type, only important clauses are taken up for debate, okay, and voting, and the intervening clauses, they are skipped over and taken as passed. कि यार important वाले discuss कर लो, बाकी वाले छोड़ दो. Like a day before your examination, what you do? You do revise, yes. Whole of the notes, no. Those you have highlighted, okay, the chapters that you have considered that this is going to be asked, very, very important, etc., etc. Okay, so this is what? Kangaroo closure. Next one is the guillotine closure. Guillotine closure, just opposite of kangaroo. It is one when the undiscussed clauses, they are put to discussion and vote. Okay, that is known as the guillotine closure. Let's say in kangaroo, I have skipped 2, 3, 4 provisions or the points of a bill. But then later on I realized कि अरे यार वो तो discuss करना mandatory था. Later on after some time I got to know that no, that should have been discussed as well. So when I am discussing those skipped portions, those undiscussed clauses, okay, so what I do consider it? I do consider it as the guillotine closure. Okay, this is what is known as the guillotine closure, right? Next, point of order. What is this? A member can raise a point of order when the proceedings of the House do not follow the normal rules of the procedure. Okay, simply speaking, when normal rules or normal procedure when they are violated, and if any member feel ki this is not going right, then in that case that member can raise what? The point of order. A point of order should relate the interpretations or enforcement of the rules, okay, and it is usually raised by an opposition member in order to control the government. Okay, it is an extraordinary device as it suspends the proceedings before the house, and no debate is allowed over a point of order movement or the motion. Okay, so basically whenever a member feels that the general proceedings or the protocols, they are not being followed, the proper rules, they are not being followed, then in that case, okay, point of order motion can be initiated. Next, special mention. What is this special mention? A matter which is not point of order, a matter which is not point of order, okay, or which cannot be raised during question hour, half an hour, short duration or adjournment or something like that, okay, but we need to do that, so it can be, okay, discussed under the special mention, right? And here it is equivalent in the Lok Sabha, it is known as notice, okay, but it is known as a special mention in the Rajya Sabha. Okay, so what is this basically? Any matter that is not discussed in half an hour discussion, short duration discussion, 0 hour, question hour, adjournment motion, calling attention motion, anything that is left, but still a particular member thinks that no, I need to discuss it, then that particular member can initiate special mention. This special mention is known as a special mention in Rajya Sabha and notice in Lok Sabha. Okay, so remember special mention, okay, here we go. As you can see, it is equivalent procedure device in Lok Sabha, it is known as notice, and it is known as a special mention in Rajya Sabha. Okay, so what is the difference? Special mention in Rajya Sabha, notice in Lok Sabha, they both are same, but the usage of terms, they are different. Special mention in Rajya Sabha, okay, and notice in Lok Sabha. Okay, all clear guys? Any doubts so far here? Any questions please? Quickly. No? Okay. So next what we have got, the parliamentary privileges. Okay. What are the privileges that are given to the parliamentarians? Okay. So here we go. Parliamentary privileges are certain rights and immunities, okay, enjoyed by the members of parliament. Okay. They are individual as well as collective. So what are the types of parliamentary privileges? So there are two types of parliamentary privileges. The first one is the individual privilege and the other one is the collective privilege. Okay, the basic difference, individual and collective. Now, when any of these rights and immunities, they are disregarded or violated, the offense is called the breach of privilege and is punishable under the laws of the parliament and specifically the constitution under article 105 for parliament and article 194 for state assemblies mentions this, that is parliamentary privileges and its breach. Okay, so two types, that is, okay, individual and collective, and the features. So it mentions two privileges, okay, that is freedom of speech in the parliament and right of publication of its proceedings. See, freedom of speech in parliament is absolute. It doesn't comes with any reasonable restrictions. Whatever the things parliamentarians, they are speaking inside the premises of parliament. Remember, whatever the things parliamentarians are speaking inside the parliament, Okay, it is absolutely immune. That means they are having absolute right to freedom of speech and expression. Okay. Second is the right to publish its proceedings in the media. Whatever they are going ahead, whatever the proceedings they are having, they can publish it in the media house as well. Okay. So this is what parliamentary privileges. Okay. Individual as well as collective. We talk about the individualistic. So freedom of speech. The members of parliament or state assembly, they enjoy freedom of speech and expression. That is, no member can be taken to task anywhere outside the four walls of the house, that is in any court or any particular thing, okay, or cannot be discriminated against for expressing his or her views in the house and its committees. Okay, so whatever you speak inside parliament, you are absolutely immune. Second, however, a member has privilege of freedom of speech in parliament, has no right to publish it outside parliament in the individualistic privilege. Okay. Freedom from arrest. That means no member shall be arrested in a civil case 40 days before and after the adjournment of the house. Remember, only and only civil case. We are not dealing here with the criminal case. Okay, we are dealing with what? Only and only the civil case. And if there is any arrest that is to be done against a particular member of parliament in any civil case, then the arrest should not happen. The arrest cannot take place 40 days before the session and 40 days after the session. Let's say session is commencing on 1st of May. Then 40 days from 1st of May before, and session is ending on 31st of May. So 40 days after 31st of May, only the arrest can happen. Okay, so 40 days before and after the adjournment of the house, and also when the house is in session. Even the house is in the session, then also no arrest can be made against any particular member of parliament. Okay, but only in the civil cases. This immunity is not available in the criminal cases. Next, it also means that no member can be arrested within the presence of parliament without the permission of the house. Okay, only and only the person can be arrested outside parliament. Inside parliament, no one can be arrested. Next, exemption from attendance as witnesses. The members of parliament or the state legislative assemblies, they also enjoy freedom from attendance as witnesses. नहीं मेरे को कोर्ट में विटनेस के तौर पर बुलाया, मैं नहीं जा सकता. I cannot come. Why? I don't want to come. Why you don't want to come? My life, my rules. Right? I am a parliamentarian. I will not come as a witness. Okay? It is what? The individualistic privileges. Next, the group or the collective privileges. What are they? Here, right to publish debates. As you can see, right to publish debates were not there in the individual. Only collectively they can. That is with consensus. Okay. So, parliament or assembly can prohibit the press to publish its proceedings whenever needed. Not individually. It is collectively. Second, right to exclude strangers. Parliament or the assembly enjoys the right to exclude strangers, that is no members or visitors allowed in the parliament. Next, right to punish members and outsiders. In India, the parliament or the state assemblies, they have been given punitive powers as well to punish those who are judged guilty of contempt of the house. Okay. So this is what the collective privileges they are all about. Okay. Right. So individualistic as well as collective. All clear? So this is it with regard to the motions, the sessions and the leaders of the parliament. Come on guys, any doubts? No such doubt? Sure? Okay. So we move towards the next chapter, the next topic for our discussion, that is constitutional bodies. Okay, what are constitutional bodies? How do we take them? Okay, here we go. first and foremost, what are constitutional bodies? Okay, what are constitutional bodies? How do I define this term, constitutional bodies? Okay, as in constitutional bodies, they are those bodies which are mentioned in the constitution itself, which are mentioned in the constitution itself. Okay, this is what the constitutional bodies they are, which are mentioned in the constitution, those who derive their power from the constitution only. Okay, they need not derive their power from any other statute, organization or a body. They are deriving their all powers from the constitution itself. So that is what is known as the constitutional body, that are mentioned in the constitution, okay, yes, and which are deriving all of their powers, functions, authorities, etc. from the constitution only. Okay, so first such constitutional body what we have got here is the Attorney General of India. Okay, who is Attorney General of India? No, not the name. Okay, I'm not talking about the name, I'm talking about the authority. What does this particular position means? So Attorney General of India is the government's lawyer. Okay, advocate of the government of India. Okay, that is what is known as Attorney General of India. Simply speaking, whenever there is a case in which government is also a party, in which government is also involved, maybe government is something who is the litigant, or maybe the government is something that is accused. So in that case, government needs a lawyer, right, an advocate for itself to be represented in the courtroom. So who will be that lawyer? That particular position, that particular authority is termed as Attorney General of India. That is representing the government of India in the courts. Which courts? So, Supreme Court, High Courts, or any other courts, wherever the government is one of the parties. Maybe from the appeal side, maybe the government could be the litigator, maybe the government could be accused as well. So wherever the government is a party from either of the side, that government will be represented by an advocate of the government, and that advocate of the government is known as Attorney General of India, right? Which article talks about Attorney General of India? So it is Article 76 of the Indian Constitution provides for the Attorney General of India. Okay. He is considered as the highest law officer in the country. Appointed by whom? Appointed by the President, and holds office during the pleasure of the President. Okay. And a person who is qualified to be appointed as a judge of the Supreme Court is eligible for the office of the Attorney General of India. Right. So basically speaking here, Attorney General of India. Okay, Attorney General of India mentioned where? Mentioned under Article 76. Okay, appointed by whom? Appointed by President. Okay, removed by whom? Removed by President. Okay, simply speaking, works under the pleasure of President till the time President wants. What is the particular time period? Tenure. Tenure is not fixed. Okay, could be for 1 year, 2 years, 4 years, whatsoever. By convention. Remember, this is not by law, this is by convention or practice or tradition. Okay, you call it by convention, that is basically the tradition, okay, or culture, something like this. So by convention, Attorney General of India changes when the government changes. This is by convention, this is not by rule. Okay, this is just by convention, a practice or a culture or a tradition that we have been following. Okay, Attorney General of India. What article? Article 76, appointed by the President, removed by the President, works under the pleasure of the President. See, the tenure is not fixed. By convention, Attorney General is removed when the government changes. Okay, new government comes in and talks about its new Attorney General. See, one thing that is to be noted, okay, in an asterisk mark, in a star point, what is that? The Attorney General of India is not the Member of Parliament. Okay, is not the Member of Parliament. Please note it down. But, okay, but can take part in the proceedings of the House, in the proceedings of Parliament, without the right to vote. Make this thing very clear, everyone. Though the Attorney General of India is not the Member of Parliament, can take part in the proceedings of the Parliament. Okay. Now, can he or she also vote inside the Parliament? No. Attorney General of India cannot vote in the Parliament. Have got the absolute right to be the part of the proceedings of the House, but yes, cannot vote in the Parliament. Okay. Now, what are the duties? What are the functions this particular person, that is Attorney General, performs? Okay. So here we go. To advise the government on the legal matters referred to him by the President. Okay. Simply be the legal advisor. Second, to appear on behalf of the Government of India in Supreme Court in all the cases concerning the government. Third, to represent the Government of India in the reference made by the President, okay, under Article 143. Whenever President has used Article 143, that is what? The advisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. What is Article 143? Okay, simply we shall discuss it later on when we are discussing that Supreme Court chapter. So simply it is the advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court. Okay. Under the advisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, President of India can seek advice. President can seek advice to whom? From whom? From Supreme Court. Okay. On two matters. First matter is the substantial question of law, that is any matter of urgent public importance of any recent statute or so on. Okay. Second one is the any question which has arisen out of any pre-constitutional thing. Could be an agreement, a treaty, a pact, or something like that. Okay, so in these two cases, President can seek advice from the Supreme Court. Okay, and whenever Article 143 is in action, okay, who shall represent the government side? Okay, it shall be the Attorney General of India. Okay, next, to appear in the High Court in the cases concerning the Government of India, that is in the Supreme Court as well as High Courts. Okay. The rights of Attorney General: has the right to audience in all the courts in the territory of India, can appear in any court. Next, has the right to speak and take part in the parliamentary proceedings, but do not have the right to vote. Third, all the privileges and immunities available to a member of parliament are also granted to the Attorney General. Okay, right? Yes, there, 76 clause 2. Right, so all the members, all the privileges that are given to the members of parliament, they are also given to the Attorney General of India. Next, Attorney General of India is considered as what? The highest law officer. Next, what we are discussing is the CAG, Comptroller and Auditor General, is considered as the guardian of the public purse. Right, so here we go. CAG, Attorney General, Article 76, CAG, Article 148. Okay. Like for example, every company has got its own accountant, right? Who takes care of the accounts of the company. How much money credited, how much money debited, from where the money came, from where the money has gone, okay, to whom the money has gone, for what purpose the money has gone, okay, has that purpose been served or not, okay. So this is what, who takes care of these things? The accountant of any company, from chartered accountant to the other accountants, right? What they do take care? What is the revenue of the company? What is the expenses of the company? What is the profit of the company? Company is going in the loss or in the profit, whether there is deficit or surplus, okay. How much money, this particular person has been given by the company, for what purpose? And apart from that, accountants also take care that has that purpose been served or not, because he or she has to mention it into the accounts book. Okay, so in that very same sense, the CAG does the same for the accounts of our country, and that CAG, Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Don't worry that it is Controller and this is M, it's this mistype, okay, printing mistake or something like that, and it has become Comptroller. No, it is known as Comptroller only, not Controller. Comptroller and Auditor General of India, Article 148, okay, is considered what? Guardian of the public purse, okay. So along with the Supreme Court, the Election Commission and the UPSC, the office of CAG is treated as one of the bulwarks of the democratic system, okay. Appointment, who appoints? It is the President of India, okay. Removal, it is once again by the President of India, but it takes a parliamentary approval as well, okay. Just the way a Supreme Court judge is removed, in that very same way CAG is removed, okay. What is the tenure? Okay, so CAG holds office for a period of 6 years, okay, or up to the age of 65 years, whatever is early. Let's say completed the 6th year of the tenure or has completed the 65 years of age, okay. So whatever comes early, whatever comes before, okay, that will be the tenure of the CAG, okay. And removal, what is the removal? Okay, same as a judge of the Supreme Court is removed, okay, that is a motion has to be passed inside the parliament, okay. It can be initiated in the Lok Sabha or as Rajya Sabha, okay. If it is initiated in Lok Sabha, then at least 100 members of the support is needed to initiate. If it is initiated in Rajya Sabha, then at least 50 members of the support is needed. Then the motion must be passed with special majority, that is 2/3 of the members present and voting, okay. Then it shall be given to the president, and when the president signs, then the CAG is said to be removed. This is the same procedure that is followed for the removal of the Supreme Court judge or a High Court judge or even the UPSC chairperson, like that, okay. So this is what the appointment, removal and tenure. Now talking about the duties, okay. The duties and functions, basically they are mentioned under Article 149. So what does the CAG do? All the accounts related to the expenses from the Consolidated Fund of India, Contingency Fund of India, or contingency or the Consolidated Fund of the states or the union territories, okay, it is taken by the CAG. That is, simply speaking, whatever the public accounts they are, consolidated, contingency of the state, of the union, whatsoever. Remember, like for example, Attorney General is there. Attorney General is there for the Government of India, but Attorney General is not there for the Government of States. For that we have got another one, that is Advocate General of States under Article 165. Okay, CAG is just one. We don't have CAGs for state governments. Okay, we have got CAG just and just for India. Okay, India as the whole, right, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, that is from Indira Col to Indira Point, okay, from we call it as Kibitu to Motihar in this Gujarat region, sorry, right. So it is just one, from Lakshadweep to Andaman, okay. CAG takes care of all the funds, right, okay. So the net proceeds of any tax or duty, they are ascertained and certified by the CAG. CAG acts as a guide, friend and philosopher to the Public Accounts Committee of the Parliament. Okay. Then all the receipts and expenditure of the bodies financed from the state government or central government, they are also taken into the accounts by CAG. The audits of any other body as when requested by the president or governor, they are audited by the CAG, maybe the private or the public body whatsoever. Then 3 reports, they are submitted by CAG to the president. What are they report? What are these reports? They are audit reports on appropriation accounts, audit reports on finance accounts, and audit reports on public undertakings, right? So CAG, basically speaking, it is just one for the whole of India. Okay, from Indira Cole to Indira Point, from Kashmir, from Lakshadweep to Andaman and Nicobar, from Arunachal, Nagaland to Gujarat, Rajasthan. Just one particular CAG. There is no provision for the CAG of the states or UTs. Okay, and what does the CAG do? In short, all the public accounts, okay, their records, their credit, their debit features, they are kept with the CAG. That's it. Okay, and yes, is also considered as guide, friend and philosopher to the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament. Okay, got it? Next, the Advocate General of the state. See guys, the very same way, we have got the Attorney General of India. So for state governments as well, we have got the Advocate General. Okay, the difference is, if the person is the advocate of the central government, then he or she will be referred as the Attorney General of India. But let's say the person is the advocate of any state government, then he or she will be considered or referred as the Advocate General of the state. Attorney General is the name to the union one, Advocate General is the name for the state one. The basic difference. Attorney General is appointed by the president, works on the pleasure of president, no fixed tenure, same way. Advocate General of the states, they are appointed by the concerned state governor, okay, removed by the concerned state governor and works on the pleasure of the state governor. That's it. Okay, and who is qualified? Attorney General of India is qualified, okay, is someone who is qualified to be the judge of the Supreme Court, okay, and Advocate General is someone who is qualified to become the judge of a High Court. Okay, the only difference is the state. The name is different, the state is different, working, duties, responsibilities, everything remains the same. Okay, so for example, Attorney General, it will be the president, Advocate General, it will be the governor. That's it. Okay. Yes, dear. Article 165. Okay. Got it, all of you? I think it is clear. Next one, here we go, the Finance Commission. Okay. So, Finance Commission under Article 280, it is formed by the Honorable President of India. Okay. So remember, the formation of Finance Commission is provided by the Constitution under Article 280 and it is constituted every 5 years. Okay. So after every 5 years, a Finance Commission is constituted by the President. Okay. So remember, Article 280, Constitution in every 5 years. So the composition, how many members are there? Because it is a commission, right? Finance Commission. Till now we were talking about the individual bodies. Attorney General of India, Advocate General of States. These are one single body, single person. Okay, or the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Right? Now we are talking about the commission, that is Finance Commission. So obviously there should be couple of members or multi-members basically. Right? So Finance Commission consists of a chairperson and 4 other members appointed by the President of India. That means basically chairperson plus 4, that is total we have got 5. Right. So the qualification of the members and the manner of their selection is determined by the Parliament. Okay, see the difference. They are appointed by the President. Okay, the members, they are appointed by whom? They are appointed by the president. But their selection criteria, their qualification, all of these things, it is determined by the parliament. Okay. Parliament determines the selection criteria and their qualification. President appoints them. Okay. So they are eligible for reappointment, whereas CAG is not eligible for reappointment. Okay. Attorney General is, Advocate General of States they are, but CAG is not eligible for reappointment, and Finance Commission members, they are eligible for reappointment as well. Next, the 4 members should be selected from amongst the following. The qualification of the 4 members as presently prescribed by the Parliament. First, a judge of a high court or one who is qualified to be appointed. Second, a person with specialized knowledge in the field of finance and accounts of the government. Third, a person with experience in financial matters and administration. And fourth and the last, a person with special knowledge in economics. So these are basically the 1, 2, 3 and 4 members. Okay, those who are taken as the experienced ones, right? Okay, so qualification, who is deciding? Parliament. Selection, president. Reappointment possible? Yes. Okay, time period, obviously 5 years. Functions. One thing that is to be noted before we read the functions. The Finance Commission is totally an advisory body, as in the recommendations given by the Finance Commission, they are not binding on the government. Okay, all the recommendations given by the commission, they are absolutely having advisory tool. They are only having the advisory nature. Okay, the government may or may not accept the recommendations of the Finance Commission. Okay, so now talking about the functions. So Finance Commission make recommendations to the president on the following matters, as in distribution and allocation of the net proceeds of the taxes between the center and the states and within the states. Then the principles that should govern the grants and aid to the states. Measures needed to augment the consolidated fund of India or any state. Then any other matter referred to it by the President of India. Okay. Just like Niti Aayog there, absolutely advisory in nature. Their recommendations are nowhere mandatory. Okay. So what are the functions of the Finance Commission? To provide recommendation with regard to the share of taxes between the center and the states and within the states. Okay. With regard to the grants in aid given by the center to the states. And yes, the support system needed, okay, for the states as well as the local bodies, and yes, any other particular matter that is referred to them, that is the commission by the Honorable President of India. Any other, it could be, but basic 3 are defined. Okay, the other 3, the 3 are defined. The other 4th one, that is, should be given by the President. Okay, whatsoever the task is. Next, State Finance Commission. So for states, we have also got the Finance Commission. So under Article 243I and 243Y, not from I to Y, 2 articles, 243I and 243Y. It is I for panchayats, Y for municipalities. Okay. So the governor of a state shall every 5 years constitute a Finance Commission under Article 243I for panchayats and 243Y for municipalities. Okay. Who is to be authority? Who is to be given the authority to make the Finance Commission for the states? Governor. Same task. Okay. Task will remain the same. Just the position changes. Okay. I for panchayats, Y for municipalities. Capital I and capital Y. Inserted through the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Acts 1992 respectively. Okay. Next, the State Election Commission. We have got the Election Commission for the center and we have got the State Election Commission as well. So State Election Commission, okay, Article 243K for panchayats, Article 243 capital ZA for municipalities. Okay, remember guys, we have got two distinct election commissions. What are they? First one is the Election Commission of India, okay, and the second ones, they are the Election Commission of States. What is the difference? Let's understand the difference basically. So here we have got Election Commission of India, okay, and here we have got the State Election Commission. So basic difference. Firstly, Election Commission of India is dealt under Article 324, okay, whereas the State Election Commissions, they are dealt under Article 243 capital K and 243 capital ZA, right? Election Commission of India conducts elections for, it is the President, Vice President, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and State Legislative Assemblies as well, and if the states, they also have the councils. State assembly elections are also conducted by the Election Commission of India. It is not the State Election Commission, okay. State Election Commission is there just, okay, for the elections of panchayats and municipalities. Okay, remember, State Election Commission is just and just for the conduct of elections for panchayats and municipalities, whereas the elections for state legislative assemblies, that is Vidhan Sabha or even Vidhan Parishad, presidential elections, vice presidential elections, elections for Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, it is all the Election Commission of India only. And state election commissions, they are for the state panchayats and municipalities. Even state Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad elections are conducted by the central, that is the Election Commission of India, right? That's it. So here firstly what we have got, Election Commission of States, that is simply State Election Commission, two articles, 243 capital K and 243 capital ZA, okay. So it consists of a state election commissioner who is appointed by the governor. What is the qualification? Okay, the removal of the state election commissioner is same as that of the judge of the High Court, and qualification is also to be determined by the governor. Okay. Next, Election Commission of India. Okay, now we are talking about the Election Commission of India, as I stated, Article 324. Okay, now conducts elections for whom? The central and state governments, along with the office of president, vice president, state legislatures, okay, and so on, right? Now, composition. How many are there? So, the Election Commission, it consists of a CEC, Chief Election Commissioners, and other election commissioners. Basically, President fixes the numbers of the other election commissioners. So, technically speaking, here we talk about the composition. So, it is having one Chief Election Commissioner plus other election commissioners. How many of them? It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., etc., etc. And who is going to define the numbers? It will be the President of India. So technically, we do not have any fixed number of membership. Okay, fixed number of membership is not there. Take, okay. What is there? One chief election commissioner assisted by other election commissioners. How many of them? It could be 1, 2, whatsoever. And who is the deciding authority? President of India. Okay. The appointment, it is done by the president, and removal same as the judge of the Supreme Court for the CEC, whereas the other election commissioners, they hold office on the pleasure of the president. Just the chief election commissioner, remember, just the chief election commissioner shall be removed on the same grounds as the judge of the Supreme Court, but other election commissioners, they can be removed normally. What is the tenure? Okay, so tenure here we have got 6 years or 65 years, okay, whichever is earlier, just like the CAG. This is what the basic difference. Okay. When we talk about the functions, okay, simply the functions of election commission. Okay, so obviously ये पहला वाला तो क्लियर है, conducting elections. Okay, elections for whom? President, vice president, okay, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, state legislative assemblies or state legislative councils. Okay, so this is what their functions. Okay, first one, conducting elections. Second, providing voter ID card. Another function, providing recognition to the political parties. Providing recognition to political parties. Then they are also providing the symbols to parties, from Kamal to Panja to Hathi, okay, to Jharu, to everything, okay, the symbols our parties they do have, they are allotted to them by the Election Commission of India, okay. Then they assist high courts or even Supreme Courts in matters of disqualification. Right, so these are basically the functions. Okay, functions of what? The Election Commission of India. Okay, that's it. Right, guys, I hope it's clear. So next, what we have got? National Commission for Scheduled Castes. Okay, we have got the National Commission for Scheduled Castes, National Commission for Scheduled Tribes, National Commission for Backward Classes. Okay, so here we go. We talk about firstly the National Commission for Scheduled Castes. It is established by Article 338 of the Indian Constitution. Okay, initially there used to be a single commission for SCs and STs, but the 89th Constitutional Amendment Act of 2003 bifurcated it, and now we have got two, that is National Commission for SCs, Article 338, then next we have got the Article 338 capital A, basically National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. Okay, so composition, it consists of a chairperson, a vice chairperson and 3 other members. Okay, that is in total 5. Chairperson, vice chairperson and 3 other members. Appointed by whom? Appointed by the president and removed by the president as well. Okay. Tenure, who is going to decide their tenure? Tenure is not fixed. Basically, generally they have got the tenure of 3 years. Decided by whom? Decided by the President of India itself. Okay. Next, National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. Okay, same, just the article number is different. Article 338 capital A. Okay, how many members? Same, chairperson, vice chairperson, and 3 other members appointed by the president. Their tenure, etc., decided by the president. Generally, how much it is? 3 years of the tenure. Okay. Next, National Commission for Backward Classes. Okay. Till 2018, National Commission for Backward Classes, it was not a constitutional body. It was just a statutory body, but through the 102nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 2018, okay, a separate article was created, that is Article 338 capital B, and National Commission for Backward Classes was made a statutory, constitutional body from just a statutory body. Members same, okay, chairperson, vice chairperson, and 3 other members same, appointed by the president. Okay, tenure, conditions, etc., determined by the president. As of now, 3 years. Okay. Now, next, SOLM, Special Officer for Linguistic Minorities, created through 7th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1956 under Article 350 capital B. Okay. Which constitution amendment? 7th Constitutional Amendment Act, also known as the States Reorganization Act of 1956. Appointed by whom? President. Okay. Having offices in New Delhi, obviously, then apart from that, Belgaum, Chennai, Kolkata. Okay. Allahabad, that is modern day Prayagraj, is the head office. Remember, head office is Prayagraj, not New Delhi. Okay. So the commissioner is assisted by a deputy commissioner and an assistant commissioner at headquarters. Next, the commissioner falls under the Ministry of Minority Affairs. So works under which ministry? Ministry of Minority Affairs, and submits the report to the President of India. Okay. So this brings us to close the chapter of the constitutional bodies. Okay. So guys, before we proceed to the next chapter, that is the emergency. Okay, the chapter of national emergency. Okay, so I think it's time for us, we take a short break of nearly 10-15 minutes. So it is exactly 3:37 now. So we shall take a break of around time period till we shall resume the class by 3:50. Okay, so we shall take a break of 10-12 minutes. Okay. Okay guys, welcome back. So we are good to go, right? I guess you got the refreshment. So here we go with the next chapter, that is emergency provisions in India, in the Indian Constitution, right? Okay. So starting with the features, the basic features, what we have got. So the Constitution stipulates 3 types of emergencies, what we have got. Okay. So they are national emergency, constitutional emergency, and financial emergency. Okay. Remember, from articles 352 to 360, basically 365 as well. Okay. In part 18, what we have got the chapter that is emergency. And what are the types of emergency the Constitution has stipulated? So 3: national emergency, constitutional emergency, and financial emergency. Constitutional emergency, that is basically, in general terms, we call it as the President's rule. Okay. Generally, we call it as what? The President's rule. Right. So call it the President's rule or call it the constitutional emergency. Okay. It is same. So, talking about the first one, that is the national emergency. What are the grounds of imposition for national emergency? Okay, what are the things that we need to mark? So, first and foremost, the grounds of declaration. Under Article 352. Okay, which article? Article 352. The President can declare a national emergency when the security of India or any part of it is threatened by war or external aggression or armed rebellion. Okay. The president can declare a national emergency even before the actual concurrence of war or armed rebellion or external aggression. Okay. So remember, what are the things that we need to discuss when we talk about national emergency? Okay. National emergency, it can be imposed. Okay. So the grounds of declaration. They are two grounds. What are they? The first one is war. War as in external aggression. Okay. Second one is the armed rebellion. Okay. So there are two grounds of imposition: war, okay, or external aggression, or the armed rebellion, right? So who can declare that? President of India can declare that. So when a national emergency is declared on the grounds of war or external aggression, it is known as external emergency. Whereas if it is declared on the grounds of armed rebellion, it is known as internal emergency. Okay. Now the twist. The word internal emergency, or the word armed rebellion precisely, it was added only through the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act, and before that this term was known as internal disturbance, right? Let's understand the difference. Before before 1978, that is the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay, the grounds of declaration, one of the grounds of declaration was internal disturbance. Okay, but this word internal disturbance was quite vague, like quite big. Its interpretation was quite big, and high chances of misuse was there, right? Which we have seen that many people, they have criticized or accused the then government of Indira Gandhi 1975 to use internal emergency, okay, the word internal disturbance, misinterpreting it, right? So internal disturbance is a word which is very vague, that is very difficult to define. It could be having very broad connotations and definitions. Like for example, internal disturbance. This is a marker. I've dropped the marker in the class. This is what internal disturbance, right? Anything, matlab kuch bhi. Okay, so anything could be internal disturbance and could be misused by the governments. Hence, okay, through the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1978. Okay, the word internal disturbance was replaced by the phrase armed rebellion. Which one? Armed rebellion. Okay, so before 1978 it was internal disturbance, after 1978 it was armed rebellion. Okay, which amendment? Through the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1978. This particular thing was changed. Okay, so grounds of declaration now two: external emergency, that is external aggression or war with any country, and the second one, internal emergency, that is basically the armed rebellion. Okay, now see the facts. Very interesting fact. The 38th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1975, okay, made the declaration of national emergency immune from the judicial review. Okay, that means if emergency has been imposed by the president, it cannot be challenged in any court of law. That is basically speaking, no judicial review could take place. Okay. So this was mentioned through which amendment? 1975 amendment, that is 38th Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay. This provision was subsequently deleted by 44th Constitutional Amendment Act. It was said that no. Judicial review will be there on emergency. So 38th Amendment made it clear that no judicial review. 44th Amendment stated that no, there will be judicial review. Further, in the Minerva Mills case of 1980, okay, Supreme Court held that national emergency can be challenged in the court on the grounds of being malified, or that the declaration was based on extraneous, that is baseless or irrelevant facts. Okay, this is what Supreme Court has mentioned, in which case? Minerva Mills case of 1980. Right? So 38th Amendment, what it stated, emergency is free from judicial review. 44th Amendment said that no, not free from judicial review. There will be judicial review. Further, this was given more impetus by the judiciary itself, Supreme Court itself, in which case? Minerva Mills case 1980. Okay. Next, the parliamentary approval and its duration. See, who will proclaim the emergency? The proclamation of emergency will be done by the President of India only. But when the President has declared the emergency, it will need the parliamentary approval as well. Okay, so what are the segments? The proclamation of emergency must be approved by both the houses of parliament within 1 month. And when we talk about 1 month, so month is of two types, right? 30 days and 31 days of the month. So Constitution talks about a month. And what is that month here? 30 or 31? So Constitution's month is always 30 days. Okay, Constitution doesn't talks about a month of 31 days. According to the Constitution, it just takes about 30 days. Okay. So, however, if the proclamation of emergency is issued at a time when the Lok Sabha has been dissolved, or the dissolution takes place during the period of 1 month without approving the proclamation, then the proclamation survives until 30 days from the first sitting of the Lok Sabha. Okay, provided the Rajya Sabha has in the meantime approved it. If approved by both the houses, the emergency continues for 6 months at a time and can be extended to an indefinite period with an approval of Parliament for every 6 months. And every resolution approving the proclamation of emergency or its continuance must be passed by either house of the Parliament by a special majority. Okay, so the features that we need to discuss. Here we go. We talk about national emergency. So this national emergency, it is first of all under Article 352. So the two grounds, obviously, internal emergency, that is armed rebellion, other one external emergency, that is aggression, external aggression or war. Okay. Now, who will proclaim it? Proclamation can be done only and only by the President. But it needs what? The parliamentary approval. And from where does this parliamentary approval will happen, or how does this happen? So the emergency, okay, the resolution must be passed within 30 days, within 30 days from the date of proclamation. Now, for example, okay, just we can keep it, for example, today, that is, it is 20th of April 2025, President has proclaimed emergency. So from here, okay, 30 days, that is last date from here, it will be 10th of May. Okay, 10th of May to, It will be 20th of May 2025. The emergency resolution must be passed by both the houses of the parliament. Okay, that is Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha, both the houses. By what date? Maximum 20th May. In case 20th April, President has proclaimed emergency. Now, let's assume because of some XYZ reasons, okay, because of some unavoidable circumstances, unfortunately, by 19th May, okay, because of some XYZ reasons whatsoever they are, 19th May 2025, unfortunately, Lok Sabha has been dissolved, for example, okay. So now what will happen? Now fresh elections will happen. Okay, new Lok Sabha will be constituted. It shall take 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, whatsoever. Okay, let's say, for instance, after the dissolution of the Lok Sabha, fresh elections they have happened, new elections, okay, and new Lok Sabha has been constituted, and its first sitting, okay, the first sitting of new Lok Sabha takes place, let's say, for example, on 10th of July. Okay. So now the first sitting has happened on 10th of July. So from here, how many days? 30 days more. That means by maximum 9th August 2025, emergency provision must be passed by Lok Sabha. In that meantime, Rajya Sabha has already passed it or not. Okay. So this is how the proclamation of emergency takes place. So generally 30 days from the proclamation of national emergency, it shall be passed within by both the houses within 30 days. Let's say in that meantime of 30 days, somehow unfortunate reasons, Lok Sabha has been dissolved. So new Lok Sabha will be constituted after the fresh elections. And whenever the first Lok Sabha, the new Lok Sabha is having its first sitting, from that date to next 30 days, okay, it will be the time for passing the resolution for the emergency. Okay. So this is what the parliamentary approval is. Now, what is the particular time limit? Okay. What is the particular, what we can say, validity? So every proclamation of emergency will be valid for 6 months. Okay, will be valid for how many months? 6 months, that is 180 days. And in case after 6 months, okay, there is still the condition that emergency needs to be existed, okay, then once again parliamentary approval will take place. That is, both the houses of the parliament, they need to pass it again. By which majority? By special majority, always. So once passed, okay, once passed, emergency shall continue to be in operation for 6 months. And every 6 months it needs what? It needs re-approval by the parliament. For how many years it can happen? For n number of years. But in every 6 months, okay, the parliamentary approval is required. Okay. Revocation, in order to remove. A proclamation of emergency may be revoked by the president at any time by a subsequent proclamation. And such proclamation does not require parliamentary approval. Okay. So basically the emergency must be revoked if the Lok Sabha passes a resolution by a simple majority disapproving its continuation. So simply speaking, to disapprove or discontinue the emergency, President in her order can revoke emergency at any time, and in that meantime if Lok Sabha wants to discontinue the emergency, then it can do as well, okay, by passing a dissolution or discontinuation of emergency, okay, with simple majority. To implement emergency, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha both are needed with special majority. But to revoke emergency, to remove it, okay, discontinue it, only Lok Sabha is needed with simple majority. And even President can also do it without any parliamentary approval. Okay. Next, the effects of national emergency. What happens when national emergency is under operation? Okay, so it is having a drastic and wide ranging effects on the political system, and the consequences, they are grouped into three major categories. Okay, what are they? Effects on the center-state relations. While a proclamation of emergency is in the force, the normal fabric of the center-state relations undergoes the basic change. This can be studied under three heads. Okay, the center-state relation. First, executive. The center becomes entitled to give executive directions to the state on any matter. Okay. Second, legislative. The parliament becomes empowered to make laws on any subject mentioned in the state list. The president can issue ordinances on the subjects, state subjects as well, if the parliament is not in session. Okay, the laws made on state subjects by the parliament becomes inoperative 6 months after the emergency has ceased to operate. And third, financial. The president can modify the constitutional distribution of the revenues between the center and the states. So the difference, okay, what emergency creates. Okay, the first one is into the center state relations. What is this? So first of all, the center becomes absolute powerful. The center becomes absolute powerful to provide any type of executive directions to the states. Executive directions to states. Okay. Second, when it comes to the distribution of revenue, or taxes, okay, the center can modify it. Okay, then when it comes to Schedule 7, that is, we talk about Article 246. The three lists, the central list, the state list, and the union list. Concurrent list. In general conditions, all the things that are mentioned in the state list, all the topics, only states are authorized to make laws. But when the national emergency is going on, okay, when the national emergency is going on, the center can legislate on any topic that is mentioned in the state list, and such type of legislation continues to be under operation for 6 months. Okay, let's say for example, center or the center's law on state list continues to be in operation for 6 months after the emergency has ceased to exist. Okay, so this is what the first basic difference. Second, okay, the second difference, that is effect on the life of Lok Sabha and the state legislative assembly. Okay, while the proclamation of national emergency is in operation, the life of Lok Sabha may be extended beyond the normal term of 5 years and maximum for 1 year at a time. Let's say Lok Sabha has completed its tenure of 5 years. Okay, now elections must happen, but because emergency is there, so considering emergency, okay, 1 year of extension could be given, right? However, this extension cannot continue or go ahead beyond a period of 6 months after the emergency has ceased to operate. Next, similarly, the Parliament may extend the normal tenure of any state legislative assembly by 1 year, okay, during a national emergency. Maximum by how much year? 1 year. Okay, so effects on the period or the tenure of Lok Sabha and state legislative assembly, it can be extended for 1 year at a time. Okay, 1 year maximum at a time, right? Next, the biggest effect on the fundamental rights of the citizens. What difference it creates on our lives. So there are 2 particular articles, okay, precisely only 2, that is article 358 and 359, which deals with the any sort of alteration in our fundamental rights. Okay, so what are they? Firstly, the suspension of fundamental rights under article 19. According to article 358, okay, when a proclamation of national emergency is made, the 6 fundamental rights under article 19 are automatically suspended immediately with the proclamation of national emergency. Okay, article 358 comes into action and suspend the 6 fundamental rights guaranteed to us under article 19. Okay, so basically speaking, article 19 is automatically suspended, okay, and it is retrieved immediately automatically after the expiry of emergency. Okay, next, the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act, it laid out that article 19 can only be suspended when the national emergency is laid on the grounds of war or external aggression and not on the grounds of armed rebellion. So guys, next big thing, the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act made it absolutely clear that the fundamental rights guaranteed to us under article 19 will get suspended only, there is a condition, there is a catch, that when the emergency is proclaimed on the grounds of external aggression or war and not on the grounds of internal emergency, that is armed rebellion. If the emergency is declared on the grounds of internal emergency or armed rebellion, then article 19 stays. But if the emergency is declared on the grounds of war, okay, then article 19 is suspended. Next, article 359, suspension of all other fundamental rights except article 19. Okay, what it says? The President is authorized to suspend by order the right to move any court for the enforcement of fundamental rights during national emergency. Thus, remedial measures are suspended and not the fundamental rights. Okay, the suspension of enforcement relates to only those fundamental rights that are specified in the presidential order. Second, the suspension could be for the period during the operation of the emergency or for a shorter. The order should be laid before House of the Parliament for approval. And yes, the biggest mark here that we need to provide the star as well. The 44th Amendment Act mandates that the President cannot suspend the right to move the court for the enforcement of the fundamental rights guaranteed by Articles 20 and 21. Okay, so let's understand the difference. First and foremost, whatsoever the type of emergency is, okay, whatsoever the type of emergency is, as per the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1978, Articles 20 and 21, that is right to life and personal liberty and protection against conviction, okay, they cannot be suspended. Okay, they cannot be suspended at any cost. Okay, cannot, literally cannot. Okay, these two articles remain. Next, let's say what it is mentioned here, only those fundamental rights are to be suspended, other than 2021 obviously, are to be suspended, which are mentioned in the presidential order. Let's say, for example, this is the presidential order. Okay. This is the presidential order for the proclamation of emergency. Okay. For example. Okay. So in this, President has mentioned, for instance, let's say Article 14, 15, 22, etc. Okay, to be suspended, not etc. Okay, let's say, for example, President has mentioned Article 14, 15, and 22. Okay. (14, 15, and 22). President has mentioned 3 articles. So these articles, yeah, these fundamental rights are to be suspended. But here is the catch as well. Basically, the fundamental rights are not suspended. Only, okay, their imposition is suspended. That means in case of violation to those fundamental rights, you cannot approach the judiciary for its reinforcement. Okay. So technically, Article 32 is absolutely suspended. That is talking about the reinforcement of the fundamental rights under the writ jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, or also the constitutional remedies. Okay. Right. So this is what the effects of fundamental effects of emergency on our fundamental rights. Okay. Next one comes into the picture, the President's rule, or we have also mentioned it as the constitutional emergency. Okay, so President's rule is mentioned under 2 different articles, Article 356 and Article 365. But before that, we need to discuss about Article 355. So here we go. What is Article 355? As we know it very well that in India, the fabric or the scheme of federation, what we are quasi-federal, right? What we are, okay? We are the quasi-federal state, okay? We are the quasi-federal nation, and the scheme of federation of India, it is represented geometrically like this, a tilted line, not a straight line. We do not have a straight line. Okay, what we have got? We have got a tilted line. So at the apex, okay, at the apex, that is at the top, it is the center, and below that they are the states. Okay, so because center is having more authority, more power, and center also, okay, make it clear that center plays the role of big brother, basically the guardian. For whom? For the states. Okay. So now talking about Article 355. So as per Article 355, okay, as per Article 355, it is the duty of the center, being the big brother or the guardian, okay, it is the duty of the center to protect the states to protect the states from any kind of external aggression or even internal disturbances. Remember, internal disturbance word has been removed from Article 352 only. It is still prevalent under Article 355. So it is the duty of whom? It is the duty of the center to protect the states. Okay, from whom? From any sort of, firstly, the external aggression, and secondly, any kind of internal disturbance. Okay, so for which the Constitution has given Article 356 and Article 365 to the states, to the center. Okay, to use the President's rule or the constitutional emergency in the states, okay, and retrieve the normalcy. Okay, so here we go, what it is mentioned, as you can see. So Article 355 imposes a duty on the center to ensure that the government of every state is carried out in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution, and it is the duty, okay, in the performance of which the center takes over the government of a state under Article 356 in case of failure of the constitutional machinery in a state, and popularly President's rule, right? So here we go, as you can see the next. Grounds of imposition. Okay, so two grounds. Ground 1, Article 356. It empowers the President to issue a proclamation if he or she is satisfied that a situation has arisen in which the government of any state cannot be carried on in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. That is basically Article 356 says that in case there is the failure of constitutional machinery in the state, and second one is more executive way, okay, that is Article 365. It says that whenever a state fails to comply with or give effect to any directions from the center, it will be lawful for the President to hold that a situation has arisen in which the government of the state cannot be carried on in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. So basically speaking, the two differences, okay, we need to mark, okay, Article 356 and Article 365. What is this? 356 says that failure of constitutional machinery in the state. Failure of constitutional machinery in the state. Okay. 365 says that when the states, when the state or the states, they fail to follow or comply with the directions given by the center, then in that case also, okay, the President is entitled to impose the President's rule, right? So these are the two provisions. So parliamentary approval is required or not? So yes, we have got the very same feature as with regard to the emergency. So parliamentary approval and duration. Okay, a proclamation imposing the President's rule must be approved by both the houses of Parliament within 2 months from the date of its issue. Okay, how many months? 2 months. In emergency, how many months we have got? 1 month, that is 30 days. In President's rule, how many days we have got? 60 days, that is 2 months. Okay. However, if the proclamation of President's rule is issued at a time when the Lok Sabha has been dissolved, okay, or the resolution has been taken place during the period of the 2 months without approving the emergency, okay, that is the constitutional emergency, then the proclamation survives the very same, that is 30 days from the first sitting of the freshly constituted Lok Sabha, and in that meantime Rajya Sabha has passed it. So very same procedure as we had in emergency. That is, proclamation of President's rule in any state or states must be approved by both the houses of parliament, that is Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha, within 2 months, that is 60 days. In case before passing that such resolution, okay, Lok Sabha has been dissolved, then once again 30 days from where? From first sitting of the freshly constituted Lok Sabha. Okay, this is what the basic difference. Okay. Now, consequences. The biggest one that has been also asked by UPSC in the year 2017 or 18 probably. Article 356 clause 2. It entitles the parliament to legislate on any matter mentioned in the state list in that one particular state which is facing the President's rule. For example, recently Manipur, right? So as we can see here, consequences of the President's rule. The President acquires the following extraordinary powers when the President's rule is imposed in a state. Firstly, he or she can take up the functions of the state government and powers vested in the governor or any other executive authority of the state. Second, can declare that the powers of the state legislature are suspended or to be exercised by the parliament. Third, can take all other necessary steps including the suspension of the constitutional provisions relating to any body or authority in the state. Okay, so basically all the executive and legislative functions, they are taken up by the president. Okay, technically by the president, but technically by the parliament, but in exercise by the president. Okay, so the scope of judicial review, so very same one. The 38th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1975, okay, made the satisfaction of President in invoking Article 356 final and conclusive, which would not be challenged in any court on any grounds, that is immune from judicial review. But subsequently 44th Amendment Act came to the rescue of the democracy, okay, and said that no, just like emergency comes into the purview of judicial review, so does the President's rule also come. Okay, so 38th Amendment removed judicial review, 44th Amendment reinstated. Okay, next and the final one into the list of emergency, financial emergency. So grounds of declaration, we have got one ground, that is Article 360. Okay, what is this? It empowers the President to proclaim a financial emergency if he or she is satisfied that a situation has arisen due to which the financial stability or credit of India or any part of it is threatened. Okay, so parliamentary approval, a proclamation declaring the financial emergency must be approved by both the houses of the parliament. How many? Within 2 months, and same if Lok Sabha dissolves in between, then 30 days, okay, from the first sitting of the freshly constituted Lok Sabha. Okay, now see this thing here. Once approved by both the houses, no such further renovation, okay, is needed, right? So once approved by both the houses, the financial emergency continues indefinitely till it is revoked. Like for example, President's rule or the constitutional emergency, the national emergency requires 6 months of approval, okay, by the parliament. Okay, every 6 months approval is required, but for financial emergency no such thing is required. Okay, once imposed, it can continue to be in operation till indefinite period. No further every 6 months of the renewal is required. Okay, effects. Does it have any effect on the fundamental rights of the masses? Did financial emergency provides any sort of this disturbance to the fundamental rights of the common citizens? No, literally No. Fundamental rights, they have no relation directly or indirectly because of the imposition of the financial emergency. No relation. Okay, so but what? The effects it can have. So extension of the executive authority of the union over the financial matters of the state. Second, reduction of salaries and allowances of all or any classes of government servants. Reservation of all money bills or other financial bills for the consideration of the president after they are passed by the legislature of the state. Okay, so all the budget of the state assemblies will be passed by the governor? No, by the president only. Next, direction from the president for the reduction of the salaries and allowances or any class or person serving in the union, the judges of the Supreme Court and the high courts as well. So basically it affects the government servants or the judges only and not the common citizens and the common masses. Okay, right everyone? So this is it with regard to the today's marathon session we had. Before ending the session, I would just like to give you the homework. Okay, homework is, please note down and let me know into the comment section. Okay, for how much time president's rule can be maximum imposed in a state. Okay, so for which we have got the answer as well. It is maximum 3 years, right? But here's the catch, here's the twist. There is a twist that president's rule could be extended. Okay, please remember. Okay, there is a twist. What is the twist? President's rule could be extended for a period beyond 3 years. Okay, yes, it can be. Right? Now you will have to tell me how. Okay, so this is homework for you guys. Okay, how? Either you can let me know into the comment section of this particular class, okay, or else you can connect with me over my Telegram and Instagram channels. Okay, so for Telegram, okay, we've got a channel that is in the name of study_with_Praveen. Okay, so you can connect with me here. Okay, and apart from that, you can also connect with me over my Instagram account. It is Praveen Mishra _2107. So wherever you want, you can connect and share your doubts as well as your homeworks, right? So guys, please do your homework and connect with me as well. And most important thing, guys, please do not forget to subscribe to our StudyIQ IS English channel, made with just one single purpose, as I state every day. That is to serve you with the most of the quality and quantity of the content, right? So please do subscribe to the channel and hit the like button in case you like the session, and see you all tomorrow morning now sharp 9 a.m. into the Hindu analysis class. Okay, we have it every day, right? So guys, subscribe, hit the like button and comment your answer as well, or else connect anywhere, okay, Instagram, Telegram, wherever, and share your doubts there and the homework as well. Okay guys, so let's sign off for the day. Thank you so much for watching. It was a very nice session. We have learned about the national emergency, the financial emergency, the president's rule, along with the constitutional bodies as well as the parliamentary sessions. Okay, thank you guys. See you all tomorrow. Bye bye. Take care. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.